Sure?
Too old. Too old and too many aches and pains.
Did you get hurt a lot doing this?
Nope. I got about had my chin cut completely through out in Farm City. One of the nights when it was muddier and all get out, and I was leading the race, and that was when we still had windshields in the cars, and
real windshields, not the wire.
Couldn't see shit, and somebody that was a lap down or something spun out in front of me, and I hit him going full bore, and it actually bent the ring down, and the steering wheel come back, and I mean, I even had shoulder harnesses on, but it still gave enough that I hit that. I could almost stick my tongue through 11 stitches in there. But that's the only time I really got hurt in the car.
Thank you for telling us some memories. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sam, thank you very much. Here at the Legion Speedway and just racing in general. Your name is Bobby Shell. A lot of people, I remember him, but when did you get started getting racing?
62.
How'd you get started?
Well, I had a couple uncles that raced. One of them won a couple championships, and I got the bug.
Okay. And you raced here at the Legion Speedway?
Yeah.
And anywhere else?
Oh, yeah. Santa Fe Speedway, Chicago, pretty well all over. Peoria, I've raced in Peoria, Quincy, Kankakee, Danville.
Okay. Tell me a little about racing here at the Legion Speedway. The racetrack was a little bit different configuration in those days.
Yeah, a little smaller.
Okay. And folks sometimes I think have a hard way of picturing an even smaller racetrack.
Oh yeah, it was small. If you stayed on the pole, you pretty well done it. So a guy come up from Danville, Bobby Pierce, and he run the high bank. They call him high banks. And he got around this place.
Okay.
He was a good driver.
Were there a lot of guys that would, it was probably a lot of battling down low and really get under and use the bumper to try to push your way through. Yeah. And that had to help up at Santa Fe too, because that's how they did things up there.
Yes, sir.
Tell me some of your best memories of racing here at the Legion Speedway.
Oh, I had a lot of them. One night, Jack Tyne and I battled all the way to the very end. I jumped out of the car after the race when he was getting a checkered flag, and I shook his hand. I was so proud of him and me, but we had a real good time.
Was he one of your best friends?
Pretty well. Yeah.
Did you make a lot of other close racing associations here?
Yeah. We, Lynn Wilson, he was a good driver back in them days, and Jack, and I can't remember all the names.
Sure.
But
what do you miss about that kind of racing? What do you miss about that?
Oh, that was good times. We went fender to fender a lot of places. Sammy Lee drove a late model there for a while, and we had some real good races. Just a lot of guys.
Did you have? What kind of total investment would you put? Today we see such an investment in going racing. What kind of investment, when you started in the 60s, did you have in your racing program?
When I started, I had $15 in the car. I bought a Ford for $15, and we stripped it out and put a big tire in the right front, and put some wedges in the springs, and we heated up the left rear, and that's what we raced. Put a roll bar in it. Some places you didn't have to have roll bars. You just chain the door shut and go.
Did you get hurt much racing?
Yeah, a couple times.
What happened?
We had tryouts at Kankakee one year, and a kid bought a sportsman car. It was a '57 Chevy, and it was a Sunday before the races started, and I jumped in it. He said, try it out. He says, you know more than I do about it. And I went out, made about 3 laps with it, and some guy went by me, and I started chasing him, and he hit a rut. and it broke the right rear axle off. And I went up in the air and it come down on its top and the seat broke loose, and I was in the hospital about 3 weeks. It pushed the matter in between the spine and the joints. It pushed 10 of those out to squish those, and I laid on the. I didn't break my back, but it was very painful.
I bet you remember it to this day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I bet you remember it to this day.
I'm feeling it to this day.
Yeah. And what do you? Because I'm sure you still talk about racing with your friends. What do you recommend about today's racing when you're trying to get somebody interested in coming to the races? What's the biggest benefit?
Biggest thing is sponsorship.
Uh-huh.
You have to have a sponsor, you know, and you have to really want to do it. And when you do, it gets to be a real habit, and it's not a hobby no more. It's a lot of business in it.
When you've got $15 in the race car, you're doing everything. You're working on the motor.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing.
Yeah.
That's not something that you see as much anymore.
No.
Guys go to the speed shop, get the parts, and
Everything is store bought.
it's sort of it wasn't that way back
Oh
then.
no, we build our own cars and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I ran into a guy. I bought a car from him in '64, during the fair, February fair. I bought a '55 Chevy from him, and this guy builds a supercar, and I was with him. I bought his cars, probably raced his cars till '69. And tool and die maker at Peoria, and he's got these two cars right here, the Green Winnie and the 44, and that's the kind of cars he built back then, and they were safe, fast. And
Not all the cars were safe in those days.
oh no, I drove a Valiant out here during the fair one time. A kid asked me to drive it. And
How are you?
He had a hay rope for
Don't recognize me.
I had a hay rope for a shoulder harness.
Yeah.
That don't work anymore. That won't
Oh
work
no,
anymore.
oh no.
When I first began coming to the Speedway, and I actually remember Bobby Shell from Santa Fe. I grew up a couple miles from Santa Fe.
Oh
too.
really?
So I remember you here at the Legion Speedway, and I remember you up there too. Pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. A national impact with their racing products. And Roger Friedman, you're one person that is that.
Yeah, we make connecting rods for a lot of the late model racers, modified guys. A lot, we're sponsoring the Lucas Oil Series. We have a lot of top runners like Sammy Swindell, Steve Kinzer. We have most of anything that's doing with dirt. We might have most of the engine builders buy our product. So it has helped over the years that. My first part of the deal, I used to be with Felpro. Of course, I knew all the racers then, and then when we got into the rod business, most of that continued. So it's been very rewarding. We go out to, like we're going to go out to Dream out there. Probably 80% of the cars have our rods in them.
And those are built right here in Central Illinois?
Right, Forest, Illinois.
That's amazing. A lot of folks don't know that.
Yeah, if you
Little
drive
town
up
of
to our
Forest
building, they wouldn't know it.
Yeah. Little town of Forest, 1,000, 2,000, like you're saying, 2,000 people.
There's 6 of us. There's 1,100 people in Forest.
Okay.
6 of us build the rods. Well, my wife's here too. My son works for me. I have a nephew who works for me. And I have 2 other young men. It's pretty neat.
I remember when you were working for Felpro and you came in, you just started your ride business. How many years ago is that again now, that you've been doing that?
I was at Felpro for 13 and a half years, and I left there in November of '99,
Okay.
and this is our 14th year.
You've been coming to the Legion Speedway as a fan, as a.
As a 6-month-old young man, I was here.
That's amazing.
Sat on the east end of the grandstand here with my mom. My dad ran the record.
Okay.
So I probably didn't remember too much at 6 months old, but as I got older, I remembered a lot. I mean,
What are some of your fondest memories of racing as a Legion?
oh, there's a lot of
Things that you do. You probably work with folks all over the country. What is specific to the Legion Speedway that you would tell them about today?
I would say that Fairbury is probably one of the friendliest towns, friendliest tracks around. You always get a fair shake at Fairbury. It's that's the same grandstand was there when I was a kid, and
Same no smoking signs?
same, yeah, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of neat stuff over the years. I mean, I've had my own cars. I mean, I had guys that used to drive for me, and now we're my boys both race. Probably self-satisfaction the most is to watch your sons win. And we've been very successful at that. And to win track championships, my cars have won, I don't know how many track championships here, Farmer City and Kankakee. But still, my favorite track is here. And there isn't anything I wouldn't do for the track. I used to be on the board.
Yeah, I believe so.
We've done a lot of stuff over the years. I really think that the new regime right now with Gunner and Clan there that are trying to make huge improvements here in Fairbury.
I was looking at a purse, which is posted right there on the wall, which is something that never used to be. Come to a racetrack, and the purse is posted. But here's a purse for a race later in this year here at Fairbury, $88,000 in the late model range. That's amazing.
It's interesting.
For a little quarter-mile track.
Last week, Pete Parker came and raced here. I'm friends with him. He came and raced pretty decent. He said, we was talking last night after Farmer City, and he said, this track doesn't post nothing. You don't know what you're racing for. You don't know what you're going to get or anything. But here, he says, I know exactly what I'm doing. And he really thought that was an awesome deal. He's racing here again tonight, unless he decided to go home this morning.
No, he's back there. So.
Okay. So it's all a pretty neat deal. And just like Bobby Shell, you just interview. I've known Bobby since I was 17 years old. I mean, personally knew him. And it was interesting, one night I remember the old 8-ball car and sweet, Dick Turner in the 16, the old Plymouth. And there was a crash down here in 3 and 4, and somehow or another Dick hit him really hard, and that thing flipped up in the air like that. And it stood up on its nose, it seemed like for an eternity. And it come down, and everybody was all right.